Hello, everybody. A warm welcome to our slightly cold talk series called Good Design for a Bad World. My name is Marcus Fairs. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of Dezeen, the online architecture and design magazine, and I'm very immensely proud and flattered to be the international ambassador for Dutch Design Week. And our contribution to the week is this talk series, and we're asking a question of, there are so many big problems in the world: pollution, climate change, refugee crisis, to name but a few. And the systems we have in place, the corporate systems, the legal infrastructure, and the politics don't seem to be able or willing to change to address these. We have this amazing community of creative people, architects, designers, and the like, who solve problems. Can they help solve these problems? Can design help make the world a better place?
The current system, you can only vote for one party. So a party is like a fixed box. But in my approach, it's modular. So you could choose from different parties, different elements from different parties.
But then so the vote was split percentage-wise between different parties? How did the system then decide who'd won the election or the makeup of the parliament?
Instead of one big chamber, like it is now, you would get different theme chambers. So within every theme, there will be some kind of a formation process, instead of a big cat and mouse game with coalition opposition.
And how did the political system respond to your proposal? Are they going to adopt it, or?
Well, I did quite a few talks already, and local but also national. They don't like change. So, I mean, I'm a teacher, and if someone knocks at my classroom and says, "Okay, we're going to change everything," I'm like, "No, hold on. Who are you? What are you trying to say?" So people, it's just, we are programmed evolutionary to don't like change. So it's difficult, but it's not impossible.
Rudy, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I do think we should ask ourselves the question, does the system facilitate behavior, or does the behavior facilitate the system? Because I think both politicians, voters, the system creates the behavior. So I think you have to change the essence in order to change the behavior. So, for example, we are in a vicious circle now, because people are not engaged, so they vote uninformed. And that's exactly where politicians react to with like theater and showbiz and populism. And you can't really blame them, because it's action-reaction. So I believe you have to go back to the essence of the system and change that in order to get change of behavior.
Maybe we need to do a conference on the dark side of design to figure out who are the people behind this.
But it's still a question about the system, because also the Brexit, it was with a referendum. You can only agree or disagree. So it's polarization, and you can't do anything about it. It's the same as a two-party system. You can choose this part or this part. And most people are moderate. So you have like, if you look at change, it's like a, how do you call it? A normal thing. Like 10% is always in favor, 10% is always against. But the 80%, they are moderate. But in a way, the system is created. You can't choose for a middle. You can't choose for the moderate option. So polarization happens. So it's like a reversed one. So the extremes have power now. So I don't think it's optimistic or pessimistic. It's realistic. So we have to change things.
I mean, it turns out that the Brexit vote was a very badly designed referendum, because we know the answer to the question, but everyone's trying to figure out what the question was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was binary, but it didn't give us any chance to...
Most things are binary, and if you look at, you said about what is normal, and if you look at other things, like you had male, female, but now you see all kinds of things in the middle. You had like gay and straight, you got a whole LGBTQ community, you had like able, disabled, you get all kinds of things in the middle, but they are not organized yet. So I think we have to like reclaim the middle, and then the extremes will get tempered, and then we can start like really change things.
I think that's a really powerful point, actually, that politics in my country is binary. We have one party that is in, and then they get voted out, another party's in. So looking at it as kind of as a scale is a really interesting thing.
So the question follows: do you think that good design for change should be straight on, honest, and we're doing this now, or there needs to be a cunning, sneaky way to what we are trying to achieve with design?
Subversive design, sneaky design. I mean, does anyone want to address that?
I don't think you have to be sneaky about it, because otherwise people won't see it and you can't really adapt it. So I don't know if it should be sneaky, but I do think design or changes, it's an evolution. So you said 10 million ideas, 10 billion ideas, but I think it's step by step. So it's not about top down or bottom up. I think you need both directions. So it's not this or that, it's this and that.
And speaking as a journalist, I mean, the great threat we face at the moment is the erosion of trust through fake news and things like that. So I would say, definitely, let's be upfront, let's be honest, let's admit when we make mistakes and declare interest and build a platform of trust. The reason we put this talk series together is because, as a journalist, I've noticed that there are a lot of particularly young designers that are beginning to reinvent what it means to be a designer. I mean, Thomas Widdershoven, the former Creative Design Academy at Eindhoven, told me a couple of years ago that designers, young people, they don't want to be superstar designers anymore. They want to change systems. So as an optimistic question, do you see that happening? Do you believe that there is this sea change? We now have a transition designer on the stage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the potential of the young and the ideas that they might have and the way that they might become a new generation of change.
I believe there's a lot of potential. I'm a teacher as well in Tilburg at Fontes, and I have created a fourth year course, and it's called Hacking the System, and I have like 50 students already, because only the sound of it, they're like, yeah, hacking the system, that's what's up. And when I tell them it's about transition design and it takes like 20 to 25 years in order to get a transition going, then they're a bit like, oh, 20 years, that's a long time. But still, I do think there is a lot of enthusiasm, and when I talk in front of a public, most of the times, and it's just not always true, but if there are young people in the room, they are always like, yeah, let's do this. They don't ask questions. They don't ask why should we do this? No, they're like, why not? Let's just do it. And they have more of an urge, I think, of change.